In the media, there is much talk about China being uninvestable. Many people, however, don't realize how much they are already invested in China. Whenever you get your Costa coffee, swipe your Apple device, put on your Nike shoes, or don your Ray-Bans, you are invested in China. For example, 90% or more of Apple's products are made in China. A third of Nike's products are made in China. The percentages have likely peaked, and supply chains are slowly being diversified. The trade war was the wake-up call, but concentration risk should have been the early warning indicator for most of these companies. On the other hand, China is one of the largest consumer markets. German car brands, for example, sell 30 to 40% of their cars in China. China is Apple's third largest market. The consumers in the West and China are intertwined. The contentious areas are technologies deemed important for national security. So narratives on China are exceptionally polarized today. The truth often lies somewhere in the middle of state rhetoric and Western media. Global investors often have to navigate around these biases. For example, did you know that half of 10 baggers around the world hail from Asia, excluding Japan? That Asian consumers are expected to account for half of the growth in global consumption in the next decade? By 2030, 3 billion people, or 70% of Asia's total population, is expected to be part of the consuming class. In the West, the people there will think that Western brands are the best. In Asia, local brands now command 60 to 90% of market share across goods and markets. It's only a matter of time before these brands become commonplace in the West. We need to break the stale models of viewing China either as a low-cost manufacturing base or a vast market to sell Western goods into. As China's economy has grown, its labor costs have also grown. 10 years ago, labor costs in the adjoining ASEAN countries were either on par or more expensive than in China. Today, labor costs in these countries are 60 to 80% of what China's costs are. And we know that money talks. Foreign direct investment into ASEAN and India has doubled as a percentage of global share, from 10% to almost 20%. Chinese companies are now responsible for some of the largest FDI flows into ASEAN. So China is not only competing for capital inflows, but contributing to capital inflows to its neighbors. China, as a rational global player, wants to remain attractive to foreign capital and at the same time protect its overseas investments.